Okay, I had big plans for a microphone. They didn't work out. Mercury has screwed me once again, yet again. Not for the final time. My ruling planet, so I shouldn't complain too much. Okay, let's get into it. I sat down here and I was just feeling all sorts of things very intensely. There's a lot of angels about. I even told my therapist this morning, I was like, oh, I'm getting my nails done. She asked what color. I said, I'm feeling something angel-y. I don't know what that'll look like. And then I got to the nail salon and the first white that I look at was called Angel Wings. So that's the, oh, and then the nail tech was like, are you sure that's what you want? No, I'm not. So that's the vibe I'm arriving with today. Hi. If you're new here, so am I. I don't know what's going on. I forgot my tarot cards at home, my usual deck, the one I got when I was like 12 that I've been attached to. Actually, I think I was 15, that I've been very attached to and that I usually start with when I do readings. So instead, I was drawn for whatever reason to this Cat's Eye Tarot deck, which I'm typically like not a huge fan of. I think it just gives me very 90s like holistic vibes, and my mom went to a lot of those oh my gosh, okay, I'm being reminded, sorry, I was supposed to start the reading off with this. As I was meditating before this little moment we're having together, because I'm trying to take this seriously, and I am taking it seriously in my own personal way, I kept hearing this song popping into my head. And if you've noticed, which I'm sure you have, I'm wearing a Fall Out Boy shirt today. And the song that kept coming into my head was a song that I knew was by Fall Out Boy, but I couldn't remember the lyrics. I just remembered like the, and I thought, oh crap, I've got to look this up because these words, like I want to know what the words are. And they were, for some reason, like really in my body, and I was sitting here going, oh my gosh, I feel this song in my heart and I don't even know what it's saying. So I went and looked it up. It's the song. It took me a bunch to find which ballad of Fall Out Boys it was. It was Coffee's for Closers, which is one I don't usually listen to. But the lyric that I found that was kind of replaying in my head was We Will Never Believe Again, kick drum beat into my chest again, or something like that. But basically the lyric was like, we will never believe again, we will never believe anything again. And it just gives this kind of hopeless vibe. But then the sort of main alternating lyric in the song is change will come, and that's kind of like the main driver of the song, if that makes sense. So change will come, and it was like this sort of almost, ooh, my tummy just twisted, like this like flip of, I was like, whoa, what a doomsday type of like, we will never believe anything again. But I think it's like when you're cornered in that way that that's when you have no one else to believe in but yourself. And when you show up for yourself, like the magic happens, right? So all this was coming in, oh, my tummy. Okay, all this was coming in as I was like taking a screenshot of the lyrics because I was kind of blown away. My keys like fell, and I've been here for hours, and so that was a little weird. I just felt like, okay, I better get started. So all that to say, microphone was not happening. King of Wands is what I pulled with this 90s deck that I said I was kind of not drawn to because it reminds me of like the vitamin shops my mom would drag us into that smelled like human. Knight of Wands. And it's so funny because this cat deck has always eluded me a little bit, probably for that same reason as mentioned, the cumin, I don't know, the cumin of it all. And so I went to look up kind of what the interpretation was by this artist of this cat. I do like this back part though, of what this cat is up to, this Knight of Wands, right? Because Knight of Wands, fiery energy of action, can be taken, a multitude of ways, but is sometimes like kind of can be reckless, if you're not careful, kind of like rushing in and energy. But what I was gonna say is I pulled, I went to read about it and I was like, oh, okay, this is an interesting take on, right, like sometimes people read King of Wands as like, oh, sorry, this is not King of Wands, this is Knight of Wands. Yeah, Knight of Wands as like fake it till you make it energy. Like you're kind of charging ahead, which is, I mean, basically what I'm doing here and what I think a lot of us are doing. So I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. And I don't think this reading does either. But in this book, it suddenly started talking about Wolverines. And I was like, what a fun fact about Wolverines. I didn't know this cat deck was talking about Wolverines. And I thought, what a strange sign. Maybe that'll like mean something to someone. Well, lo and behold, I was reading the wrong booklet. I'm like, oh, the Wolverine has returned to Mount Rainier. What on earth? So very funny. I don't know where the booklet is for this and how I got it mixed up, but maybe that means something to you. Either way, the energy we're starting off with here is Knight of Wands, and below that I have Three of Swords in reverse. I think a lot of us, I've sort of confirmed, I think I've danced around it a little bit, but a lot of us have confirmed are going through some pretty major heartbreak, personal breakthroughs, breakdowns. It just seems to be in the air for like almost everyone I know is going through some major thing. So maybe this is just like applicable to everybody. But all that to say, I don't have the guidebook for this cat deck right now. But the Knight of Wands with the Guardian of the Night Tarot was all about Wolverines and fake it till you make it, which in this case, in the booklet and in my opinion, I think is actually a positive attribute and is something I learned to do in the beautiful city of Los Angeles back in the day. May my relationship with that town rest in peace. Okay, so here we go. Just kidding, LA's fun. Okay, I'm gonna do, because I did accidentally pull the Guardian of the Night Tarot, I feel like there was something else I wanted to mention. Oh, angels might be significant. I also have been, Nine of Pentacles. Ooh, okay, I just got like a, I don't know what that's called, a confirmation chill. I guess we call it goose canmon, and that's what I drink. Nine of Pentacles. Okay, now that I actually do have the right deck. Ooh, I'm getting like shivery. Oh, and then, well, okay, we'll get to it. Sorry, I just realized I didn't take my ADHD medication this morning. So here's a reminder to take your meds if you have not. I also ordered a matcha today, which like is my new thing, I guess. Don't look at my address. It's not even my address. This is just the portal I'm living in right now. I'm also not living in it, sorry, jeez. Words elude me. Mercury, okay. I'm telling you, I wanna read this before I give my take for some reason. That's just what's gonna happen. The Nine of Pentacles creates an energy that supports some self-care, relaxation without worrying about all the things on your to-do list or all the things that could go wrong. Time to take care of yourself. Okay, I see. Sort of a permission slip to, didn't we pull, like this is why I'm getting a little thrown. I'm like, didn't we, that's like, yes, Nine of Pentacles energy. That's like what we've been, oh that, why am I so totally off my rocker? Nobody knows. Call on the bear's strong energy when you need to feel at ease with the pace and rhythm of life. Let its presence help you feel comfortable enjoying a break or a small indulgence. Okay, yeah. So Wolverines, you can take that one or leave it, but the bear represents rest, renewal, guidance, and inner peace. And I'm starting to wonder now if you are getting the same message that maybe, hold on, let me think about this for just a moment. I'm gonna pull a clarifying card for Nine of Pentacles. My energy, if you can't tell, is very scattered, so I'll take a moment to ground myself. All right. What kind of guidance could we use today to get us through our day, to understand what's happening? Nobody? Man, it's like there's this block. Okay. Oh. Okay. Well, interesting. I just pulled the High Priestess. After feeling like none of the cards are falling out, I just thought I'm gonna feel into it with my hands. I am in my Reiki studio after all. So I thought, why not just feel it into it with my hands? Pulled High Priestess. Okay. Can't make this shit up. This is number 2. Ooh, it's a bat. She's beautiful. Crescent moon. Just gorgeous. Lit up in the nighttime. I love that she's reversed as a bat naturally, but like in reverse. Almost Hanged Man energy. Hanging bat energy. Ooh, I like this a lot. Okay. So this is sort of, I think, a call to go inward. I mean, obviously that's not really a stretch to read that here. Your intuition is pulling you toward a pursuit of some kind. Your intuition is pulling you toward a pursuit of some kind. And by pursuit, I mean something that fills you up. Have you ever read The Artist's Way? That just came to mind. That was a book that I started earlier this year that I think that hand in hand with my sobriety and a couple other things I began kind of putting my energy into at that time really have changed my life dramatically. Yeah. But anyway, The Artist's Way is such a cool book. It does use the word God, which I used to be very kind of repelled by as a recovering Catholic. But I think that if you're able to get past that, excuse me, I think a lot of us might be struggling with our communication. We're like about halfway through Mercury retrograde. So if things are getting mistranslated, lost in translation, it's not just you. If you're having trouble finding your words, just blame it on the planets, okay? Anyway, even if you're watching this at a different time, because when I do these, I intend for them to find people when they need them. So 1313 on the timer. 13 might be significant for you. Okay. Fish symbology here too. Bears, she's dreaming of fish. I love that. That's how you get that's okay. When you go into the space where you're being called toward a project, project might be a good word for it too. The word I used earlier felt right as well. A pursuit. If you're feeling called to any pursuit, and by that I mean like maybe it's watercoloring or picking up just buying yourself like a brand new, if you have something like dusty in the corner that you don't want to pick up, like just going and getting yourself a brand new like paint by number kit, right? Or if you've been thinking of like, is it a waste of time to just like cross stitch something for fun or just to practice? No, like that is when the magic happens. That is when your intuition, when you are in this like sort of suspension, active suspension, you are dreaming of fish, you are taking care of yourself, you are resting, and you are not only resting, but like actively filling up your cup. And I know that a lot of times I think people lean toward group activities for that because we're so busy, it's hard to find time to invest in yourself, especially on something like a hobby, God forbid, I know. But if there is something that like makes you feel a little bit alive, I encourage you to just take a few minutes, even if that's like sitting under a tree. That's one of my favorite things to do. even if it's just looking through your tarot deck and being like, oh, how pretty, and seeing if any of the cards call to you, and then looking up what it means. You know, I don't know, I'm throwing out examples, but just things that keep your mind at ease, give your mind something to do and to rest, like active rest. And if you've not heard of non-sleep deep rest, that also just came into my mind, which is also called Yoga Nidra. It has also been part of my regular practice in recent months, and it has changed my life. Beautiful, just makes, it's really, really, really amazing. Look up Yoga Nidra on YouTube. There's so many guided meditations. That will definitely put you in this state of like, your mind is awake, is conscious, but your body is asleep. You're in this like active rest, and it like refuels your body. Your mind is able to dream of these fish that then turn into actual real gold, okay? Like that, you're gonna refill that way. I truly feel that, because, and it's so hard to forget, so hard to remember that, because, I mean, hustling, all that bullshit, like, I think we all know that's not it, right? Like we've all moved past our boss babe era. Okay, what was I gonna get? I feel so out of my mind today. I hope everyone is taking care of themselves. I realize when I get home later after doing these that they're also directed toward me. So do as I say, not as I do, but I am also trying to do as I say, actively working on that. I also feel called to just say thank you if you're here, because I feel like I'm sort of in this weird liminal space right now where like these roads have been opening up ahead of me that I don't even know what they are necessarily, but I just know there's like a fork in the road. There are these like big breakings, breaking open, happening, breaking down, rebuild, like just a lot of shifting, moving pieces. And I know just from like the little that I kind of scrolled, that resonated with people as well. So if you are out there feeling a little bit lost, or like we will never believe again, and you're being kicked while you're down. Oh my God, yep. I picked up the whole deck. The only one left that I couldn't get off the floor with my beautiful angel nails was the Five of Pentacles. Look at this. Like digging for scraps, trying to feed. Wow. Ooh, I do kind of wish I had the book for this, but this was the deck that I gave Leona when she was really little, and I feel like it just kind of went through the ringer, you know? But yeah, it's like hard, right? Because when resources are tight, and that could be financial, that could also be time, right? That's a resource, energy depletion. This is an urge to pull yourself back to yourself, pull yourself in, pull your energy back, pull yourself away from people that are even unconsciously using your energy to process life. Because at this point, we don't have the energy to spare, okay? So if there's anyone in your life, whether it's someone you're going through an active situation with, or people around you who are not being supportive or helpful, try not to feed yourself with scraps, okay? And it might feel like, you can see here there's a kitten, right? And it feels sort of like, if you don't have children, maybe you do have a kitten, or a kid, or your inner child, whatever that might be, like you feel like desperate, like I need to feed myself some way, right? Like where times are tight, resources are tight. Ooh, I'm getting like a closing in my throat at that. And sometimes sometimes it's not even financial. It's almost like you feel cornered or trapped, or like you just don't know how to find the courage or to say what needs to be said, or to admit to even yourself what needs to be said. Sometimes it's even facing something within yourself, a truth you didn't want to look at. Anyway, whatever that feeling of lack might be. 2002. Portal energy. Yeah, I joked about my ox being a portal, and then I realized like the number is like a palindrome, and I was like, oh my god. Ah! Beam me up. Please. Okay. Yeah, but look how healthy and cared for they are, okay? They're gonna be okay. This is like a time, if this is a time of lack and you feel like you're being fed scraps or you're having to take scraps, that's okay. As long as deep down you know what your worth is, try to pull back your energy once you have the reserves, once you have the chutzpah, maybe that is an ancestor coming in, any Yiddish out there, folks. Yeah, once you pick yourself up by the bootstraps, now they're all just like giving me idioms. Thank you very much. No, we don't need German ones. This might be around a conversation, okay? Is it around a conversation? For me, it was around a conversation. The King of Swords has been a card, not in this deck, but in my normal deck that I've been very, like, typically ambivalent toward, and then recently really like got into, to the point like I was being a weirdo and writing like expo marker on my mirror to like remind myself of things. Like, it's still on my mirror. That's how like recent this is. King of Swords, you know, yeah, he's coming out of a little, okay, this deck is growing on me. We knew it would happen. That's what happens when you resist something, right? Kind of love it. Okay, King of Swords, look at him. He's like fucking fat cat coming through this cat door. 2 feet first, no hesitation. But he's also halfway in. Like, he's like, I'll say what needs to be said, but I'm not gonna like come at you out of a reactionary state. The King of Swords is here to say, if there is a truth that you have maybe felt rumblings, inklings of deep down, the first step is admitting to yourself, and it's okay, it's a safe place. Make sure you know you are a safe place, okay? Admit to yourself whatever that truth is if you are ready to. And once that ball gets rolling, you can ask your guides and angels for help, but it's sort of once you know something, and I think a lot of us know this subconsciously, unconsciously, and it's really hard for us to look at wounds and inner truths because of this very reason. Because once you see them, you can't unsee them. And so once a truth kind of enters your conscious awareness, which that is what the Suit of Swords is, mental air, communication, but all the mind, Mercury, God bless her. You can't unsee something, right? And once you've internalized and really processed in whatever way you need to, whether that be like getting your own space, talking to a therapist, or other mental health counselor, or whatever it may be, once you kind of find clarity in yourself and are able to embody this, like, I will step in the room to tell my truth, but I'm gonna keep the back of me back here, because like I don't need to overdo it. I'm gonna retreat once I've said my piece. And once you feel safe in that, that's when everything shifts and you're able to step into maybe a tough conversation. Maybe it's not a conversation. Maybe this is just a truth that you've been avoiding. That's more what I'm feeling, is that like maybe you've recently admitted this truth to yourself. I mean, this is something I think a lot of us can relate to. There's something that had to change and had to be looked at finally. And that is the toughest part. But once you do that, you realize like, oh, I'm safe to do that now. You know, in the past, when faced with something scary that I didn't want to look at, I didn't know where to go. But now you can be that safe place for yourself. You can find that if you don't have access to that. Yeah, this is getting kind of all over the place, I think, but whoa. I'm just feeling a lot of intensity today. So sending love to everybody, and I'm probably just gonna sit here for a few minutes after this and like just kind of send some love out. But yeah, man, okay, I mean, this is starting to make a lot more sense, right? Like, please take some time, like take this as a permission slip. I'm not a doctor, but I can play one on YouTube, so if you want me to, I'll write you a doctor's note. Yeah, no, take this as your sign, please, that you need to do what fills you up, do what brings you peace, and do what puts you in a flow state. And one way to, back to Artist Way, one way to do that is to write down what you loved doing as a kid. And I think Carl Jung said that too. The things you love doing as a kid are oftentimes that you would get lost in, you know, whether it be drawing or doodling or puzzles. Oh, that's one for me, puzzles. I did a puzzle last night. It was so soothing. Last card I pulled is Strength, okay? Look at, you're the mouse. That snake can't hurt you, okay? You and the snake are one. Ah! Okay. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right. Love you all so much. If you're still here, what are you doing here? Haha, bye.